Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this video I want to talk a little bit about Warcraft Arclight Rumble. Warcraft Arclight Rumble, I have been fortunate enough to get access to the closed beta and I really enjoy the game, but Blizzard has been quite silent about the game. There has not been a lot of hype about it, even though, remember, Warcraft Arclight Rumble was announced at the beginning of May. This is actually the announcement press release. On May 3rd, 2022, Blizzard Entertainment today unveiled Warcraft Arclight Rumble, an action-packed mobile strategy game coming later this year to Android and iOS devices in select regions. Alright, well, coming later this year, and now we're approaching the start of November. It's been quite a few months since that and still no hype, so what's up with that? The simple explanation, I suppose, is that the game is not quite ready yet. Let's look at what Blizzard promised. In Warcraft Arclight Rumble, players will be able to collect over 60 characters from across the Warcraft universe and triumph through an epic single-player campaign with over 70 missions, tackle cooperative missions with friends, and test their armies in a competitive player versus player mode. And if you have watched any videos or streams of the closed beta, there is quite a lot to play already in Warcraft Arclight Rumble, but some things are still missing. Blizzard's latest statement about this is this community post from August, so this is already almost 2 months old. We're energized by how enthusiastic the community is. We're working hard to build a stable foundation so we can share it with all of you, but we're not quite there yet. As we continue with closed beta testing, we plan to progressively add features that are missing from the core experience and periodically add new players. This will continue until the game has a very solid foundation. That really sounds like old Blizzard, doesn't it? Like, work on it until it's done, and I think I'm very impressed so far. Blizzard has been patient, and they have been making additions, and they've been making good additions to Warcraft Arclight Rumble, so there's a little bit of something to look forward to with this one. But Blizzard continues, when we transition from closed beta to soft launch, we will reset progression and continue to add new players. Once the game is stable, and we are confident in our feature and content set, we will enter worldwide launch. Then there was the update 0.9.3 that was released then. Subsequent patches will be focused on PvP, third talents, social systems, and endgame content, along with consistent iteration on the game as a whole. So PvP, talents, social systems, endgame content, that's still a pretty big list left. Because while the game already has PvE content that you can play for tens of hours, maybe hundreds of hours, there's quite a lot of PvE content already, then there are still some gaps. Even in the PvE campaign. The PvE campaign ends in Blackrock, and after Blackrock there's a pretty huge jump from those level 25 Blackrock encounters to level 30 Onyxia encounter. So there's a pretty huge content gap here. There is a long campaign, and then there's the Onyxia, this final boss, but there's very little in between. So even though you could expect that, hey, okay, this campaign could end in Onyxia, the campaign is already quite long, but it's definitely not working that way because of that gap. Also, remember that promise about cooperative encounters with your friends, that does not exist yet. They are in addition to campaign, there are the Arclight Surges now, so there's that farmable content that gives you more coins. There are dungeons, so there's individual 3-part challenges that give you valor points, but raids. The cooperative PvE part is still missing. Raids locked, coming soon, nothing has so far been released about raids. And in my opinion, the biggest content gap at the moment of them all is PvP. Yeah, sure, there is a button for PvP in the interface, and you can click that button and you will get a game against another player. But there's no matchmaking, there's no leaderboards, especially no matchmaking. You can just meet anybody. You can, like, you click PvP, you're playing for your first game and you can meet the most experienced player in the world in your first game. So that's not exactly great. So definitely PvP is something that they will have to fix before they can launch this. Or maybe not fix, maybe the word is implement, because it just does not exist yet. So implementing a PvP system, that's absolutely mandatory. You cannot launch this game without that PvP system. Then there's some of those PvE stuff, the content gap between Onyxia and the other end of the campaign, and then raids. I guess you could launch the game without those PvE features. There's already tens and tens of hours of PvE content, although, yeah, great if you want to implement those before the launch, I'm all for that. But PvP especially is a key point that they just don't have yet. That's why Warcraft Arclight Rumble has not been released yet, and I'm not confident that it's going to release this year. Maybe, just maybe, but it seems that this one is built a bit in traditional Blizzard style. Iterating, improving, the improvements are clear, they are visible, and I hope this will come out next year, and I think it's going to be a great game when it does. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.